Expect more. This is 6 News at 5.
We're trying to recreate where we can, but the records are just so spotty that in most cases we're having to start over.
Right now on 6 News at 5, Section 8 renters left without answers. Why there's a holdup with the Killeen Housing Authority. And a road project abandoned in the middle of construction. Why people who live nearby say it's become danger to the driver. And the fight for Fairfield Lake State Park is over. We have the latest update from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. Good evening, Central Texas. Welcome in for 6 News. I'm Bailey Bates. Lindsay and Chris are on assignment. We begin with business down at the Capitol. The fourth special legislative session in Texas has come to an end. Educational savings accounts did not pass. Neither did school security funding. 2 bills on border policies did pass, though. Now, it's unclear when and if the governor will call for a 5th special session, which he's indicated he will keep calling sessions until he's given a school voucher bill. Right now, Representative Hugh Shine is announcing his re-election campaign for the 2024 election. He is currently serving on his 4th consecutive term for his district, which covers most of Bell County. Governor Greg Abbott has chosen to endorse the Republicans' opponent, Hillary Hicklin. The endorsement was announced last week after Shine joined several other House Republicans to remove educational savings accounts from a massive school funding bill. 6 News spoke to Shine last week and learned more as to why he voted out the measure that Abbott has advocated for.
We have never had an opportunity in the House to vote for anything that gave us reasonable transparency, reasonable accountability, and definitely not anything that gave us constraints on the physical impact that it would have. Our office is
Incumbent Hugh Shine and challenger Hillary Hicklin will be on the ballot for the Republican primary on March 5th. A lawsuit has been filed against the city for Harker Heights over the marijuana enforcement proposition. This comes a year after voters approved Proposition A, which directs police not to go after small amounts of marijuana possession. City Council voted to repeal it, saying it violates state law, but voters then repealed the council's repeal. The organization spearheading the effort, Ground Game Texas, filed the lawsuit last week and made the announcement today saying this lawsuit is about enforcing the will of the voters. A spokesperson for Harker Heights told 6 News the city had no comment. The Killeen Housing Authority board members have still not transferred all of their clients of Section 8 paperwork back to the Central Texas Council of Governments. It's putting dozens of tenants in limbo. 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander has more details about what's been going on. Adriana, break it all down for us.
Well, Bailey, the KHA was having some serious staffing issues, so the Central Texas Council of Governments stepped in October to help. But the KHA board is worried about where they will stand if all of the tenants with the housing vouchers are transferred. Now, the housing voucher program has 2 different options for tenants. The first being the housing choice voucher, where a tenant lives somewhere that is not owned by the housing authority. The second is a project-based voucher, where the tenant does live in a place owned by the housing authority. About 87 housing choice vouchers have been sent to the Central Texas Council, and their executive director Jim Reed says at least half of those vouchers have been addressed. But when it comes to the 145 project-based vouchers, Housing Authority Board Commissioner Justin Hartsfield did not agree to send those to the Council of Governments because these vouchers come with administration fees. Without receiving those fees, the KHA would not see any sort of revenue.
There are very real large bills out there for electric and water and mortgages and insurances and maintenance and things that they don't have the money to cover. So that was basically he did not want to make that decision until he had more information about how they were going to handle that obligation if they did give us those vouchers.
Now, I contacted the Housing and Urban Development, better known as HUB, earlier today, and they explained that in spite of these issues, none of their tenants will lose assistance. We'll look deeper into these growing concerns tonight at 6.
Well, a lot to unpack. We know you'll bring us more answers tonight at 6. Thank you so much, Adriana. Well, it's official. There's no future for the now closed Fairfield Lake State Park. Texas Parks and Wildlife Department announced today it will not use eminent domain for any portion of the land or water rights. It was previously leased to the state at no cost, but the owner decided to sell the land. The state only wanted to buy part of the land, which was rejected. Instead, a private developer bought the land to build a subdivision with multi-million-dollar homes. The Parks and Wildlife Department executive director says He believes there is still a, quote, promising future for outdoor recreation for Texas. Switching things over to your forecast, how about this weather in December? Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell joins us with more on what to expect. Hey, Matt.
All right, thanks, Bailey. Yep. It was great weather for December, that is absolutely sure. The problem is late fall is a lot like early spring in that we get those very comfortable afternoons. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but take a look at our morning temperatures. Yeah, when you leave the house in the mornings, it's still very cold. 33 in Temple this morning, and in Marlin, same thing there. 37 in Killeen, 36 as we started our day in Cameron. So yeah, very cold to start the day, but as we've already talked about, and as we're going to continue to talk about this week, the afternoons are just about picture perfect. Plenty of sunshine out there today. We hit 71 in Marlin and Temple, 72 in Killeen and Gatesville and Hamilton, 77, close to 80 degrees up in Comanche. So again, a beautiful day, plenty of sunshine. Of course, sun is setting. We're starting to fall a little bit. And guess what? Those temperatures are going to fall a pretty long way once again. You can already see here just in the last hour or so, we've fallen from 71 to 68 in Marlin, same in Temple, 69 in Killeen, and expect that downward trend to continue at pretty much the same rate through the overnight hours. And because of that, we're going to have another chilly start. We talked about that for this morning, talking about it for tomorrow morning as well, with temperatures below 40 in most spots. For tomorrow afternoon, we'll shave a couple of degrees off, but it'll still be very nice, very close to 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon, and we'll continue that trend. We'll talk about it coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Matt. Well, the former CEO of Little River Healthcare, which closed abruptly back in 2018, was found guilty of a healthcare scheme. Jeffrey Paul Madison was one of 5 people convicted of a nationwide healthcare kickback conspiracy that involves 2 Texas hospitals, including the one in Bell County. The defendants participated in a scheme that incentivized doctors to make referrals that would give them an investment return. Each defendant faces up to 5 years in federal prison. A road project in East Bell County has been going on for months. Now people who live in the area say it's becoming dangerous. Tonight, 6 News reporter Sydney DeShawn spoke to drivers who say their safety is in jeopardy. Sydney, what's going on out there?
Bailey, FM 436 near the Heidenheimer Road and the 190 bridge has been closed for several months. One Bell County homeowner I talked to said she's been in contact with TxDOT since it started over the summer. She didn't want to be identified, but told me her concerns got passed around with no solution. She says she was told contractors are working on the road and bridge, but to this day, she has rarely seen crews working on the project. She says this makes it hard to get kids to and from school. Most importantly, she says detours are not safe.
To me, it's a safety issue because when you get on Highway 190 from Business 190 on the east end of Heidenheimer, you're put right out onto the highway at 75 miles an hour with traffic speeding, usually going even in excess of 75 miles an hour. There's no lane to get up to speed before you have to merge into traffic.
Now, TxDOT addressed these concerns. Tonight at 6, we will dive more into this and why the project has been taking so long. Bailey?
I know those drivers are probably wanting answers, especially those property owners out there. Thank you so much for looking into this, Sydney. Well, coming up, for years, misconceptions led to an underdiagnosed disorder in women. How new research is reshaping how we treat women's mental health. And Houston, we have a problem. Why it's going to take longer than planned to send astronauts back to the moon. Keep it here. We're back after the break.